Welcome back, chums. My name is LastKnownMeal, and today we're going to go into amazing details we have learned from the developer Q&A and Redstreams, which includes new gameplay, perks, abilities, vehicle combat, and so much more. So let's get into it. First off, when it comes to the expansion itself and how you start it, it will be very similar to The Witcher 3 itself. So if you have endgame character, you can go back before point of no return, before meeting Hanako, and you will get a call. You can also skip everything and start at a point where you can go straight into the expansion, most likely with leveled up gear and money like it was in The Witcher 3. But if you're starting from the beginning, Phantom Liberty quest will start after you finish the Voodoo Boys quest line in the game. Also, an interesting thing is that if you don't have the expansion, you will see the updated entrance and people standing next to it, but you won't be able to get in. Also, when it comes to textures themselves, they have seen an upgrade, as we can see that Johnny has more detail and complexity in the face itself, which I'm also sure is when it comes to different characters in the game and not just Johnny. Now, when it comes to Songbird, she will be our first contact and she will reach us through our relic. And because of it, we will be the only one she can talk to, outside of Dogtown. So in a sense, we will be that link between her, Rosalind Myers, Solomon Reed, and Kurt Hansen. Also, she will be the one that will open up the relic for us, giving us that new skill tree, and we will upgrade or unlock those new abilities by finding Militech data terminals. Keep in mind, those won't be shown on the map, but we will have to actively explore and find them, but there will be some audio cues when we get close to it that will alert us it's nearby. I like the system a lot because, it pushes for more exploration. Some of those abilities will also give us, an ability to see weak spots with enemy cyberware so we can neutralize them faster and better. When it comes to the regular skill tree and those perks, we will get them normally through leveling up. Keep in mind that also they have removed other secondary skills to level up, like for example athletics and so on, which means that perks won't be locked behind those skills anymore, which is a nice addition overall. When you go into the game with an already built character, you will be able to reset attributes once and reinvest them, but when it comes to perks, you can mix and match them or unlearn and then learn a new perk right outside combat, so it won't be a problem to reset like before. Now let's go over the perks and abilities we've seen in the gameplay. For the relic ability, the first one we are going to learn by default, it seems it's Jailbreak, which unlocks new abilities for ARM's cyberware. Dismembering an enemy or performing a finisher with Mantis Blades will charge the next leap attack, and also leap attacks with Mantis Blades have extended range of 30 meters, as well as dealing massive damage and attacking an enemy with this ability also dismembers them. Then we have emergency cloaking that we already talked about, allowing you to use optical camo if you have it, where enemies lose sight of you so you can reposition yourself or run away. We also see sensory protocol ability, but sadly their camera was obstructing the view, so I cannot see what the ability itself is going to do. After that, we have vulnerability analytics that gives you the ability, as I said before, which points out weaknesses in enemy armor and cyberware, and we also deal 100% more crit and 25% more armor penetration, and they can even explode if we deal enough damage towards those weak spots, and they will generate an EMP blast. Combine that along with machine learning, which always makes you see vulnerabilities better if you destroy them, and you get plus more crit damage itself. After that, data tunneling, where if you affect the enemy with a monovire uploaded quick hack, normal monovire attacks which hit an enemy and other enemies will spread that quick hack into them. This is particularly powerful ability because now you can basically chain your quick hacks and deal, more damage to let's say 5 or 10 enemies. And also now you can queue quick hacks onto the target so it does more stuff to them and not just one attack. So basically, right now if you attack an enemy or initiate a quick hack, you have to wait a little bit before you do another one, but with this, you queue up 3 or 4 and they're basically gone. Also launch capacity override, which gives additional charge for the projectile launch system, and limiter removal that we have seen in the past, which allows you to use gorilla arms to burst through the enemy completely. In the end, they also show special mapping where now if we leap onto the enemy with mantis blades, we can now cripple them and increase dismemberment chance. Now when it comes to perks and abilities themselves, we can see the change where by increasing our attribute this line with a lock is going to rise, unlocking more perks we can invest in, so more other powerful ones will be locked out if our attribute is not, well, high enough. They also show spillover in intelligence, which is one of the highest abilities you can get, which gives 50+ chance for quick hacks to spread onto an additional target if you have overclock active. And overclock is basically a mode you enter in which gives you an ability to send hacks even if you don't have enough RAM, but it will take 10 health instead for each hack. With air dash and reflexes, we also have the ability to do another dash mid-air with max level of this perk. Another cool perk is also Slaughterhouse, that is useful if you have blades, where all attack, counterattacks and deflected bullets apply bleeding, which increases dismemberment chance and makes them more susceptible to finishers. And of course, for a second, we also can see Blade Runner finisher we talked about in the previous video, where all blade weapons will get that ability now to, well, initiate a finisher. Now in the technical ability tree, we also finally learned the name of the top ability where David is shown, and it's called Edge Runner. This allows us to exceed our cyberware capacity by 50 points, but per point our character is going to lose 0.5% health. When you neutralize an enemy with that, you can also enter a Fury state, which gives you 10% more damage, 30% more crit chance and 50% more crit damage. So even if you lose some health points, you know, having these abilities or, well, buffs, I think is a nice trade-off. Next up, we have the ability called Pounce, which affects throwable weapons, meaning that you can now perform finishers from a longer distance if you already hit an enemy with a throwable weapon. Now another thing which I noticed is that now firing a weapon lowers stamina, meaning that this will affect how we do things now, because, well, this ability we can see for a second is called Run and Gun, which tells us that hip firing does not consume stamina. So maybe in the game if we aim down the sights it won't lower stamina, but if we shoot from the hip, well, our stamina is going to go down, but we shall see that once we get into the game, or at least how fast it drains stamina itself. Another big perk we also have is called Pain to Gain, which is combined with Adrenaline Rush, giving us 20% health item recharge after we neutralize the enemy. That's why in this gameplay, you know, their character managed to tank so much damage from max stack, because Adrenaline Rush itself gives us 30% more max health, up to 50% max health. And it's available for as long as you have the adrenaline, which is indicated by the yellow bar. When it comes to throwing people around, we get that by unlocking Savage Sling perk, that is only a finisher for blunt weapons, but besides that, on max level, of course, we can throw people. Moving on to the cyberware itself, they have a fully decked out character here with all iconic tier 5 cyberware, and we can see on the left the limit with Edge Runner and Renaissance Punk perk is 264, but again, we won't go full Cyber Psycho like I said before. You know, you will get some debuffs with health and health regeneration. On the armor side, we increase it by investing in skeleton cyberware as well as integumentary system cyberware, so your subdermal armor and so on. And this is a positive step forward for the game because, well, it allows us for much more builds with that cyberware. Usually before I used mantis blades and the rest as a supplement for assault rifles and shotguns and so on, but now we can properly use it in combat without the necessity to switch to other weapons or simply use this, as I said, basically as a supplement. In the gameplay we can also see how these caches will be thrown around Dogtown, meaning that we have to neutralize enemies around it and then link it into the loot itself, and most likely either escort it to a certain location or just pick up the loot from that cache itself. Now Dogtown is also going to be much more post-apocalyptic compared to the rest of the districts by having a zone that is somewhat designed like Las Vegas, for example, with some casinos that are still working, so fingers crossed we get some good games inside to lose our money in. But as I said, at the same time, a lot of that area is going to be looking much more run down than anything else we've seen before in Cyberpunk 2077. But also keep in mind that this entire zone is ran by Kurt Hansen. This is his kingdom, and like we speculated before, he was behind the crash, so he crashed Rosalind Myers. So he wants the president, and as said by the devs, he's gonna be playing a dangerous political game with his propaganda machine and plans that, well, we have to find out what they are as we play. Moving on to the wanted system and police system in the game, so we're gonna be able to see some 5-star gameplay from, well, their Q&A, with MaxTech attacking the player and jumping from their AV, which is again a very nice addition, and I'm glad this is finally added. As you get more stars, police will then utilize better gear by sending weaponized vehicles onto you, as well as police officers with better weapons and gear, with a bonus setting up barricades throughout the city. On top of that, MaxTech on level 5 will be attacking you non-stop, so your only way to lose them is to basically escape or hide. If you use a vehicle, MaxTech will be able to hack it for as long as they have clear sight on you, so you have to go left and right to like other areas so they lose sight of you, and when that happens, well, you have to leave the vehicle because it's not going to be moving in any way. And once you lose the cops, there will be cones of vision around them, and they will be searching for you in that vicinity you committed a crime in, so again, either hide or run really fast and really far until, you know, the wanted level goes away. Their difficulty is set in different stages, so regular NCPD will be affected by difficulty you play in, while MaxTech is by default hard difficulty, and they will always spawn with this difficulty, so no ability to make them easier. I like this because, well, it's MaxTech after all, you are not supposed to get rid of them that easily, they are fully decked out just like yourself. Also, gangs sometimes will fight with you against them, but keep in mind that this is situational and not guaranteed. But they also added events throughout the city where we can see gangs chasing other gangs or NCPD chasing them, with the possibility of seeing armored transport that we can hijack and loot. In Dogtown though, if you cause trouble, you will have Barghest on you and, well, mercs sent after you, but on the level 5, which is the max level, again, MaxTech will arrive in Dogtown as well, so you won't be safe. So generally, NCPD cannot go into the actual Dogtown, but of course, when you have a Cyber Psycho, or, well, you basically destroying everything, MaxTech will just have to intervene. It's just how it is. Now, wanted levels and how many cops are sent after you will vary depending on the district you are in. So, for example, if you are in the Corpo Plaza, be sure that they will send everything available to you, compared to, let's say, Rancho Coronado or something similar to it. So, if it's a poor neighborhood, well, you will have more freedom there to cause more chaos. You will also have car boosting missions where Mame Reyes will be giving you quests to bring those cars to the, well, him, El Capitan, for rewards, and that's how you also unlock new vehicles to buy. It's also cool that you can hijack those cars by using hacks to the point where you can even remote control the vehicles. It's going to be an option. And for the end, when it comes to finishing or doing the expansion, it will unlock a new ending for the base game itself, or, well, V's story. But of course, you can seamlessly go into Dogtown or out if you want to do other missions and quests, but again, you must finish the Voodoo Boys questline for Dogtown itself to unlock this. So this is everything for today. We have learned a lot from this Q&A. Of course, I will still analyze gameplay and provide more videos in case I miss something here, so stay tuned and subscribe for more. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, click that like button to support the channel further. Tell me down below in the comments what is your favorite new feature and what do you overall think about the expansion and patch. Huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters, and as always, stay classy chooms, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye bye.